Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about identifying assumptions, a topic under Analytical Ability, which is part of the Civil Service exam coverage. We'll define what an assumption is, go over tips to help you spot assumptions easily, and share a few important key takeaways. Let's get started. So first, let us define what is an assumption. An assumption is an idea that supports a given statement. Hindi ito direktang sinasabi, pero mahalaga ito para maging totoo o makatwiran ang statement. In other words, an assumption is implied, but it must be valid. When I say valid, it means may basihan yung ina-assume mo. It should make sense and be reasonable in the context of the statement. For example, teachers who follow their lesson plans are more effective in class. Which of the following is an assumption? Letter A, teachers who do not follow the lesson plan are less effective. B, lesson plans are the only way to measure a teacher's effectiveness. C, all good teachers use lesson plans. D, some teachers do not follow a lesson plan. The correct answer is letter A, teachers who do not follow the lesson plan are less effective. Now, bakit si A ang tamang sagot? It's because the original claim says, those who follow the lesson plan are more effective. So, it assumes that not following it makes you less effective. This is the hidden idea that supports the statement, and this contrast strengthens the argument. Let's take a look at the other choices para malaman natin kung bakit sila mali. Letter B, lesson plans are the only way to measure a teacher's effectiveness. Now, this is wrong because it's too extreme. It uses the word only, which makes the claim absolute. Pero yung original statement doesn't say that this is the only way. It only helps with the effectiveness of the teacher. Therefore, assumptions should support the argument without overreaching. Now, check naman natin si letter C. All good teachers use lesson plans. This is wrong because it's an overgeneralization. Again, too strong. Not all good teachers may use lesson plans all the time. So the original statement doesn't say all good teachers use them, just that those who do are more effective. Move naman tayo kay letter D. Some teachers do not follow a lesson plan. Mali din to because it's off-topic and not supportive. It may be true, but it doesn't really support or strengthen the original statement. Like I said a while ago, assumptions need to connect the reasoning and the statement, and this one doesn't. It can be an assumption, yes, but the statement doesn't show any proof that supports it. Here's another example. Only students with high grades are eligible for the scholarship. Which of the following is an assumption? A, scholarships are only given to those who need financial assistance. B, students with low grades do not deserve a scholarship. C, the basis for the scholarship is academic performance. D, all students want to apply for the scholarship. The correct answer is letter C. The basis for the scholarship is academic performance. Na bakit letter C ang tamang sagot? The keyword here is only, which limits eligibility to students with high grades. This implies that the main, or perhaps the only requirement for getting the scholarship is academic performance. In other words, the statement assumes that grades are the deciding factor. Without the assumption, the statement doesn't make sense. So again, ang clue dito ay yung word na only. Ibig sabihin, ang mga estudyanteng may mataas na grades lang ang pwedeng mag-apply sa scholarship. Ipinapakita nito na ang batayan ng scholarship ay academic performance at wala ng iba. So yan ang assumption or pinagbabatayan ng statement. Now, tingnan natin yung mga ibang choices at bakit sila mali. Letter A, scholarships are only given to those who need financial assistance. This is wrong because financial assistance is not mentioned in the given statement. The statement talks only about the grades but not about the financial need. Hindi nabanggit sa statement ang tungkol sa pera. Grades lang ang pinag-uusapan dito. Letter B. Students with low grades do not deserve a scholarship. Now, mali naman ito because it is a value judgment, not an assumption. The statement only talks about eligibility, not about who is deserving. Hindi siya assumption, ito ay isang opinion. Si letter B kasi, sinasabi niya dito na hindi karapat-dapat na mag-apply ng scholarship yung mga estudyanteng may mababang grade. Pero walang nabanggit, itong idea na to ay hindi naman nabanggit dun sa main statement. So therefore, hindi siya valid na assumption. Letter D. All students want to apply for the scholarship. Now, this is also wrong because this is completely unrelated to the main statement. It doesn't matter if all students want to apply or not. The focus is who is eligible, not who is interested. So again, wala itong kinalaman dun sa original statement. Hindi mahalaga kung lahat ng estudyante ay gustong mag-apply ng scholarship or hindi. Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, sino ang pwedeng mag-apply, hindi kung sino ang gustong mag-apply. Now that we have defined what an assumption is, let us go over some tips on how to ace this test in the civil service exam. Number 1, focus on the given statement only, even if it's not factual. When answering assumption questions, base your answer only on the statement given. Don't bring in outside knowledge or personal experiences, even if you know something to be true in real life. Kapag sumasagot ka ng assumption questions, huwag mo munang i-apply ang totoong buhay or general knowledge. Dapat, nakafocus ka lang sa mismong statement na binigay. Kahit pa alam mong totoo ang isang bagay sa totoong buhay, kung hindi naman nakabase sa statement, hindi yun ang tamang sagot. For example, the statement is, the sun is a planet. As readers, we know that this is false. But for the purpose of identifying assumptions, we will accept this as the truth within the argument. So, para malaman mo ang tamang sagot, you have to eliminate the choices that contradicts this statement, i.e., the sun is a star. So again, focus on the logic in the given statement and not on correcting it. So let's have another example. The Earth is the only planet in the solar system that supports life. Which of the following is an assumption? Letter A. Mars might also support life in the future. Letter B. Earth has all the conditions needed to support life. C. The statement is based on scientific facts. Letter D. No other planet in the solar system supports life. The correct answer is letter D. No other planet in the solar system supports life. Bakit letter D ang tamang sagot? It's because of the word only. The given statement says Earth is the only planet that supports life. Therefore, it implies that the other planets do not support life, and this is the assumption. So again, sabi sa statement, Earth is the only planet with life. Because of the word only, the statement becomes absolute, meaning wala nang ibang planeta sa solar system ang may buhay. So let's check why the other choices are incorrect. Letter A. Mars might also support life in the future. So letter A is wrong because it talks about the future while the original statement is about the present. Hindi sila connected. Therefore, letter A is not an assumption. Letter B naman, Earth has all the conditions needed to support life. This may be true, but it is not mentioned in the original statement. Oo, ang Earth ay may conditions for life, pero hindi ito ang focus ng statement. The statement didn't focus on why Earth supports life, just that it does, and therefore, this is not an assumption. Letter C, the statement is based on scientific facts. So whether the statement is true or not is not the point. Hindi ito tungkol sa katotohanan. Kahit totoong scientific fact yan. Therefore, hindi pa rin siya assumption ng mismong sentence. Number 2, Avoid choices that are off-topic, opinion, or unrelated to the given statement. When choosing an assumption, make sure it's directly connected to the given statement. Avoid answers that express personal opinions, talk about unrelated topics, or go off track. So kapag pumipili ng assumption, siguraduhin na may kinalaman ito sa mismong statement. Iwasan yung mga sagot na parang opinion lang, malayo sa topic, or hindi naman siya konektado dun sa main statement. For example, the school implemented a new dress code to promote discipline among students. Which of the following is an assumption? A. Some students dislike following rules. B. The new dress code will help improve student behavior. C. Dress codes are unfair to students with limited budgets. D. Wearing uniforms makes students look more professional. The correct answer is letter B. The new dress code will help improve student behavior. Now, bakit letter B ang tamang sagot? The statement says the purpose of the dress code is to promote discipline. Therefore, the assumption is that the dress code will help improve students' behavior. Sabi sa statement, kaya may bagong dress code ay para mag-promote ng discipline. Ibig sabihin, ina-assume ng statement na makakatulong yung dress code sa pagdidisiplina sa mga estudyante. So let's break down the wrong choices. Letter A, some students dislike following rules. Mali ito kasi this is a general opinion and not directly related to the dress code. Therefore, hindi siya assumption. Letter C, dress codes are unfair to students with limited budgets. This is not an assumption but rather an opinion, and it also introduces a new idea, which is yung financial concerns, na hindi naman found dun sa original statement. Letter D, wearing uniforms makes students look more professional. So this may sound related, but the goal of the dress code is not about the appearance, but about discipline. Parang konektado, pero iba yung focus. Again, yung statement ay tumutukoy sa discipline, hindi sa pagiging mukhang professional ng mga estudyante. Number 3, watch out for the words only, must, always, and never. Words like only, must, always, and never are absolute terms. They are either logical anchors or traps. These absolute words are powerful clues. When you say absolute, it means final na or exclusive, wala nang iba. When they appear in the given statement, they usually anchor the argument, meaning the logic depends on their strictness. Kaya mag-ingat kapag may nakita kang words like only, must, always, or never. Kung nasa main statement, malamang yun na yung pundasyon ng logic. Walang ibang claim. Kumbaga final na yun, no ifs and buts. But when they show up in the choices, they can be tricky traps because they may sound logical, but they're often too extreme to be safe assumptions. So, train your eye to notice these words in the test and see if the argument depends on that exclusivity. For example, only doctors must handle emergency cases. Which of the following is an assumption? A. Nurses must never assist in emergency cases. Letter B. Handling emergency cases is a task reserved for doctors. C. Emergency cases must always be handled inside a hospital. D. All doctors are trained to handle every kind of emergency. The correct answer is letter B. Handling emergency cases is a task reserved for doctors. Bakit letter B ang tamang sagot? The given statement uses the word only, which means exclusivity. It assumes that emergency cases are for doctors only, not anyone else. Yung word na only sa given statement ang key dito. Ibig sabihin, walang ibang staff or empleyado sa ospital ang hahawak ng emergency cases, mga doktor lang. So check natin yung ibang choices and let's find out bakit hindi sila assumption. Letter A, nurses must never assist in emergency cases. Now this statement is too extreme because of the word must. And also, The given statement doesn't mention nurses at all. Hindi nabanggit ang nurses sa given statement. Therefore, hindi siya valid na assumption kasi walang basehan. Letter C. Emergency cases must always be handled inside a hospital. Now, mali rin ito kasi it states a brand new idea. It talks about location, not about who handles the case. Now, sa original statement, hindi nabanggit ang location or department inside the hospital na hahawak ng emergency cases. Ang pinag-uusapan, sino ang in charge at hindi saan. Letter D. All doctors are trained to handle every kind of emergency. Mali rin ito because it's an overgeneralization. This is a strong claim because of the word all, meaning all doctors can do everything, which wasn't stated in the given statement. Walang nabanggit na lahat ng doctors ay expert sa lahat ng emergencies. Tip number 4. Look for matching keywords. The assumption often reuses the same terms. Sometimes, the correct assumption shares keywords with the original statement, and that's a big clue. It makes sense. The argument depends on a specific idea. So, if a choice repeats the key terms, it's likely tied to the logic and maybe the assumption. But be careful, just because it matches doesn't mean it's always right. So still, it's a great starting point when you're not sure. Minsan, yung tamang assumption ay gumagamit ng kaparehong keywords mula sa original statement. Bakit? Kasi malamang may connection yan sa logic ng original statement. Kaya kapag may nakita kang parehong word sa choice, i-check mo agad baka yun na yung tamang sagot. Besides, nabanggit din natin kanina na assumption is implied but must be valid. So pwedeng yung validation na hinahanap natin ay nakasalalay dun sa mga keywords na nabanggit. But again, hindi porket magkatulad ang words, tama na agad. So gamitin mo muna siyang clue, lalo na pag nalilito ka na sa mga choices. For example, eating vegetables regularly leads to better digestion. Which of the following is an assumption? A. Eating fruits is also good for digestion. B. Some people dislike eating vegetables. C. Vegetables contain nutrients that aid digestion. D. People who eat junk food often have digestive problems. The correct answer is letter C. Vegetables contain nutrients that aid digestion. Now, bakit C ang tamang sagot? The two key terms here are vegetables and digestion. Nabanggit sa given statement, matatagpuan din sa letter C. But if we will look at the statement closely, letter C supports the statement that vegetables help with digestion. Therefore, it is safe to assume that nutrients found in vegetables contribute to it. Sinusuportahan ni letter C yung original na idea na kaya may better digestion ay dahil sa mga nutrients na natatagpuan sa gulay. Now, let's take a look at the other choices at bakit sila mali. Alamin natin kung bakit sila mali. Letter A. Eating fruits is also good for digestion. Mali ito kasi it introduces a new idea, eating fruits. Hindi naman nabanggit yung fruits sa original statement. So therefore, this is not an assumption. Letter B. Some people dislike eating vegetables. This is wrong because it's off topic. Hindi natin pinag-uusapan kung gusto ba ng tao kumain ng gulay or hindi. So therefore, this is not an assumption. Letter D. People who eat junk food often have digestive problems. Mali rin ito kasi, aside from being off topic, it is going in the opposite direction. It talks about junk food as problems, pero yung statement is about vegetables and its benefits sa ating digestion. So magkaibang anggulo at wala rin nabanggit sa main statement tungkol sa junk food. Tip number 5. Practice reading comprehension. One of the most important skills in answering assumption questions is reading comprehension. Before you analyze the choices, make sure you understand the given statement. Read it carefully, word for word. Don't rush or assume you know what it means. The more you practice reading and understanding arguments, the better you'll become at spotting what's implied or unstated, which is exactly what an assumption is. So basahin mo ng buo at maayos yung statement at choices. Huwag kang mag-skim. Huwag mong pangunahan yung meaning. The more you practice reading and understanding arguments, mas masasanay ka na makita kung ano yung implied, kung ano yung hindi sinabi pero kailangan para maging totoo yung statement. For example, online classes are more effective than face-to-face learning for students with anxiety. Which of the following is an assumption? A. All students enjoy online classes. B. Some students do better in face-to-face classes. C. Anxiety negatively affects performance in face-to-face settings. D. Teachers prefer face-to-face classes over online learning. The correct answer is letter C. Anxiety negatively affects performance in face-to-face settings. Now, bakit letter C ang tamang sagot? If we understand the statement clearly, it says, online is better than face-to-face for students with anxiety. So for that comparison to make sense, we must assume that anxiety makes face-to-face learning harder. Otherwise, there's no reason online would be better. Kapag naintindihan mo na yung statement, itong sinasabi niya, mas okay ang online sa mga estudyanteng may anxiety. Bakit? Kasi posibleng nakakaapekto yung anxiety sa face-to-face learning. Yun yung assumption. So, tingnan natin yung mga ibang choices at alamin natin bakit sila mali. Letter A. All students enjoy online classes. This is wrong because it's too broad. The given statement only talks about students with anxiety, not everyone. Kumbaga nilahat niya because of the word all. Hindi natin pinag-uusapan ang lahat ng mga estudyante rito, yung mga nakararanas lang ng anxiety. So therefore, sobrang general nung letter A, kaya hindi siya correct assumption. Letter B, some students do better in face-to-face classes. It may be true, but this is an opposite perspective, and it doesn't support the given argument. Posible, pero hindi ito yung pinatutunayan ng statement. Hindi natin pinag-uusapan ang performance ng mga students sa face-to-face classes, but rather, yung pagbibigay ng opinion to do online classes for those suffering from anxiety. D. Teachers prefer face-to-face classes over online learning. Mali rin ito because it is irrelevant. This is about teachers, but the statement is focused on the students. Walang kinalaman yung teacher dun sa argument. Ang pinag-uusapan natin ay mga estudyante na nakararanas ng anxiety. Therefore, letter D is off topic. Number 6. Eliminate what weakens. If a choice contradicts or weakens the statement, it can't be the assumption. Assumptions must support the argument, not challenge or disprove it. So, if a choice goes against the main idea, adds doubt or contradicts a statement, then it's not an assumption. Ang assumption, dapat tumutulong siya dun sa main statement, hindi sumasalungat, hindi opposite. Kapag yung choice ay parang kumukontra, or nagdududa, or nagpapahina sa idea ng statement, hindi yun assumption. Kasi kung talagang assumption yun, lalakas dapat yung argument, hindi lalabo. For example, government subsidies increase the number of students who finish college. Which of the following is an assumption? Letter A, some students drop out of college despite receiving subsidies. B, students are more likely to finish college when they receive financial help. C, college students don't always use subsidies for school expenses. D, the number of students enrolling in college has decreased over the years. The correct answer is letter B. Students are more likely to finish college when they receive financial help. Now, bakit si letter B ang tamang sagot? This supports the claim that subsidies help students finish college. If the financial help increases their chances, then it's a valid assumption. Sinusuportahan ni letter B yung main statement natin, na mas may chance makagraduate ang mga estudyante kapag may natatanggap silang tulong pinansyal. Therefore, mas tumitibay yung argument. Now, tingnan natin yung mga ibang choices. Bakit sila mali? Letter A, some students drop out of college despite receiving subsidies. Mali ito kasi it weakens the main statement. Sinasuggest niya na yung mga subsidies don't always work, so nakakahina yun dun sa main argument. Letter C, college students don't always use subsidies for school expenses. Sa letter C naman, introduces a new issue, misuse of funds, which challenges the effectiveness of the subsidies. Therefore, ibang usapan na to. Parang nagdadagdag siya ng duda dun sa epekto ng subsidy. Therefore, it's not an assumption. Letter D, the number of students enrolling in college has decreased over the years. Now, this talks about enrollment and not graduation. So this is off-topic or irrelevant. Ang tinutukoy sa letter D ay enrollment. Pero yung main statement natin ay sa pagtatapos nila sa college. So therefore, that is not an assumption. That's it for today's video. Like, share, and subscribe for more civil service review content. And while you're at it, please give us a like, share, and follow on Facebook for more tips and practice materials. See you in the next video. Good luck!